Welcome to the itdvds.com YouTube channel. This is just a sample of the training available at itdvds.com. If you would like to see complete training, please go to itdvds.com. Now let's begin the sample. Now let's talk about virtual machines, because really that's what vSphere and ESX and vCenter is all about. So I'm going to launch my vSphere client. I'll just double click on it. And I'm going to connect directly to an ESX server. Now throughout the rest of this training, we're going to be connecting to vCenter and administering our virtual machines and our ESX hosts through vCenter. But in this basic administration section, I want to show you what it looks like when you connect directly to an ESX server, because you may run into an environment that just has ESX and doesn't have vCenter. But really, if you're designing an environment, you really want to have vCenter, because that's where the true power of vSphere comes in, with things like cloning and templates and vMotion and HA and DRS. All of the really great features come when you add vCenter. But with basic virtual machine administration, it's pretty much the same whether you're connecting to ESX or vCenter. So I'm going to connect to esx02.itdvds.local. I'm going to use root. Go ahead and type in the password and hit login. And I'll go ahead and click ignore to the security warning. And I'll click OK to the evaluation license expiration. Here's our ESX host. I'll expand it out, and there's a virtual machine. So what is a virtual machine? Well, it actually tells us right here. A virtual machine is a software computer that, like a physical computer, runs an operating system and applications. An operating system installed on a virtual machine is called a guest operating system. So that's an important concept. And again, the ESX server is called the host. Because every virtual machine is an isolated computing environment, you can use virtual machines as desktop or workstation environments, as testing environments, or to consolidate server applications. Virtual machines run on hosts. The same host can run many virtual machines. So we can have multiple virtual machines running Windows 2000, Windows 2003, even Windows 98, all sorts of different operating systems, even Linux, all on the same ESX host. So you can see how powerful this is. Because as hardware has gotten much, much faster, we normally have a lot of older operating systems running on slower servers, and those slower servers take up power, which costs money. They take up rack space, which costs money. So it's worthwhile to buy a new, faster server and consolidate all of those older physical servers onto one ESX host. And we consolidate them by making them virtual machines. So let's take a closer look at this virtual machine. I'm going to right click on it, click on Edit Settings. This is going to show us all of the virtual hardware this virtual machine has. So it has hardware just like a physical machine. It has memory, CPUs, a video card, floppy drive, CD, DVD drive, network adapter, SCSI controller, hard disk, all of this, but it's all software. It's all virtual. So you can see for memory, this one's got 2 gigs of memory. CPU, it has 2 CPUs. So let's stop right there and take a look at this virtual machine so we can get a better idea of what it is. I'm just going to right click on it, click on Open Console, and this is the console of a virtual machine. So it's just like the monitor, keyboard, and mouse that would be plugged into a physical machine, but it's a virtual machine. So it's got an operating system. This one is actually Windows Vista. So I'm going to go to VM, Guest, send a Control-Alt-Delete, and now I type in it just like I would if I was sitting in front of this particular machine. I'll go ahead and log in. And this virtual machine has a separate IP address, separate computer name, everything. It's as though it's a separate computer, but it's just running on our host. If I wanted to, I could launch an application, run PuTTY, connect to an ESX server. Again, everything I would do on a normal virtual machine or a normal machine. Now this screen is a little small, just so it's not too small on the training video. But I want to show you, we talked about memory and processor. I'm going to go to gifts, send a Control-Alt-Delete here. And let's go ahead and launch Task Manager on this particular virtual machine. I'm going to go to Performance. You can see it's got 2 CPUs here. And if we go back and take a look at the host, this host actually has 4 CPUs. So we're allocating resources from the host that the virtual machine can use. You can see it's got 4 CPUs. And if we scroll over, we can see it's got 8 gigs of memory. And we've allocated 2 processors and 2 gigs of memory to this virtual machine. So that's what it can see and that's what it can use. And you can see down here total memory is 2 gigs. So that's what a virtual machine is, and we're going to be working with this a lot. This is really what it's all about.